Hi, I am Story Dreamers, and this is my impression of the anime Falls of 2017. I watch at least one episode of each anime. I'm not making them in specific order, but I first will talk about the anime that I ignored, which is mostly are sequels. Then enemies that are what you can say is like I skipped because it's not my thing, or straightforward thing I not good. Then enemies that I'm not sure about, so I let them for the end of the season to see if they are good or not, seeing the reviews. And there are enemy that I think it's good, but I don't have time to see, especially that I put so many enemies in my watch list. And then the anime that I watch. I will try to make this as short as possible, so let's start. There are so many sequels this season. There are just the names of it. The Kikai Sensei and Beyond. Never see this first season. Shoko no Soma. Food Fight. I didn't saw the first two seasons. I saw only the first 2 or 3 episodes of the first season, but I never watched the rest because I don't have time. Himoto Yomari-chan. I know this is like a comedy, but I never saw it. Yukio Holder, which is I never know there was a first one, which is like a spin-off of Nagima. Nagima, I watched the first anime, the one that was like in the early 2000s. I watched the half of the second time when they remake it, but I never watched the rest of it. And I never get into reading the manga. And this is, by the way, like a spin-off of the manga, so if you only saw the anime, you will be lost. As last, that's what I hear. There are 3 Gatsu no Lion, which is I never saw before. And of course there are Love Live Sunshine 2, which is I'm not into idols anime, so I didn't watch that. There are Yukai Yona wa Yosho. Okay, this is a very long title. Yukai Yona wa Yasha Di Aro Washio Sumi no Sho, which is like about there's a group of girls become magical girls, superhero or something like that. I remember there was like one of the girls was like a cripple or something like that. I didn't expect this anime would get a sequel because I didn't know this have like this big fans base. Gintama sixth season. I only watched the first 30-something episode of Gintama, but then I gave up because there was like so many reference and there are so many texts on the with the subtitle like explain a lot of things, so it like take me so long to watch it. I always want to get back to it, but you know, if you didn't start watching this one of this long show like Naruto, One Piece, Gintama, it's very hard to start now. It's like, oh, there are so many episodes, I can't get in it now. Now it's like over 300 or 400 episodes. I don't know how many Gintama episodes there, and it's very hard to know which first season, which second season, because like they do the weird thing like, oh, Gintama 2 is like there are a dot, there are a surprise mark there. It's like they don't use 2, 3, 4. Why? It make it very hard to follow. Osomatsu-san, which is the first season, was like a comedy. I only watched the first episode, didn't watch the rest of it. Huzaki no Raitsu, also a second season. Idol Master Side M, which is like Idol Master but with guys. So yeah, a sequel, spin-off, the guy version. Wake Up Girls, another idol anime. Time Bacon, oh, Time Bacon 2. Time Bacon, the old anime from the 80s or I think the 70s, was one of my favorite anime when I was a kid. I know that they didn't get an English subtitle or English dub to it, but I loved this anime a lot when I was a kid, and I was happy they make a remake of it, but I never get into watching the new anime. Even that they change a lot of things, they make it so like a comedy. The old anime was not serious too, so not that big deal, but they make it like a robot, and they use the old design of the mecha with the with the time machine they had, but now it's like it can change into robot and more silly. But I want to get into it. I have Tom Bacon, the first season, in my watch list. So yeah, Classic Lloyd, which is another what's it called a shonen anime with the hot guys. Made for people, it's not for me. Card Fight Vanguard. Oh, I have to watch Yu-Gi-Oh! So do I have another anime about card? No. So this is the anime that I skipped because there are sequels, and for something that I didn't watch before. There was sequel for something I know I will watch them, but no. Okay, there are 3 anime that I cannot watch because I cannot find them online, which is one is Infinite Force, which is the greatest idea ever. They will have Kashan, Gatchaman, a lot of the old Tensaku superhero anime all in one anime. It's like Avengers of Japanese Tensaku series, which is awesome, but I can't find it online anywhere. The another anime is Core Robot Masters, but I cannot find any fun sub or anything about it online. The third anime called Sudate Bokura no Koi wa 10 centimeter Data, which is, I search online and find that it is not released yet, so it will release in November. So kind of weird that they will release anime of this season in November. So this is anime that I didn't watch. If any anime here is something that you will say that why you didn't watch that, I'm sorry, but yeah, so many sequels, so many anime, so short time, I don't have time to watch every anime, which is sad. Now we will go to the second subject here. I don't like to say the anime is bad, but I like to say like this anime is not my thing. I can see that maybe so even 5 or 10 minutes I like say, okay, this is not my thing. I will not say it's bad. It's just not my thing. There are 9 anime that I skip because of that reason. So maybe they get better later, who knows? I will of course see some reviews after the season ends, but for now I skipped 9 animes. Which is, the first one is Dice Irai. Dice Irai have 2 episodes I watched, episode 0 and episode 1. The thing is, episode 0 get so many hate, people hated it, even that this is the episode I like, which is about this Nazi guy in the World War II, and he was like want to scheme to take over the Führer chair, so he want to take over Hitler, and he is a vampire, I think, or there are magicians, and there are like, so they have like this interesting setup that, oh, there are like witches, vampires, all this stuff in World War II, and okay, this is interesting. This is a very, very interesting setup. This was episode 0. Then episode 1 happened, which is take a place not in 1945 World War II. No. It take a in modern time Japan, where the main character is like this typical guy in high school, and all girls are like, oh shit, like you take a very, very interesting setup and you make it very, very interesting setup. You can make anime about World War II, Nazi, and all this scheming. It's like, imagine like Game of Thrones in Nazi, where there's this guy want to take over Hitler and want to be the Führer, and he have magic and vampires and all this shit. Like, this is interesting. And then, yeah, now we'll make it about high school boy in Japan fighting typical monster and typical, like, this is downgrade. It's like seeing Hellsing Ultimate. When you think, when I first thought, like, wow, this is like a prequel to Hellsing Ultimate. We have vampire Nazis. This is awesome. And then, no, it's like in high school Japan. Like, oh shit. So yeah, I didn't like this one. Just because look like amazing anime. It's one of the deep thought anime that I think so many people will like it. Actually, it get high rating, but I don't like this come to age high school days and like I get into that. I'm 35. I saw all that. I wasn't there. I don't care about being in this anymore. I want fun anime. Osamu game, which is the King Games. Like I was playing Danganronpa 3 lately. That's why I wasn't watching anime for 2 weeks straight. I was just playing Danganronpa from coming to work to night. This is the same thing, which is a game that if you don't follow the rule you die and stuff like that, and only one can survive, and which is like, yeah, it's fun in Danganronpa because Danganronpa is light-hearted and funny and have interesting character. This is cynical. This anime is cynical and not fun at all. And there are so many characters, 32 people. One of the things that make Danganronpa is more fun, like only have 16 characters, and it is game where you can talk to anyone, and this is doesn't work at all because it's not fun. But I'm sure some people will like it. Like I said, not my thing. The other anime is Imoto Sei Irabe L. I will not say so much about it. Like, it's about a guy who into his sister, even that he have no sister, but he have sister. It's very weird. It's like about this guy who is a light novel writer, and he into writing stories about a guy's love and his with a sister relationship, and it's just cringe-worthy. So I skipped that. Could Realize, which is reverse harem anime. I don't have any other reason for not liking it. It is not my thing. Like I said, not my thing. Not bad. I think the animation is good. The character design look good, and it's kind of. I think the idea is sweet, but not for me. If you are a girl or into that, maybe you like it. Konohana Kitten, which is about this fox girl who want to work into this kind of hotel or something, and it's not fun at all. The characters are boring, everything is boring, and the main character is just stupid in very stupid ways, not fun stupid like Goku from Dragon Ball. No, she is like stupid for the sake of being stupid, and someone think, oh, this level of stupid is sexy or something. Like, I skip that. Sengoku Night Blood, another anime that I think is for the girls. Nothing wrong with that. If you like it, you like it. It's not my thing. Tsukibor, the animation, which is another anime like that for the girls. And Dynamic Short, which is like another Bishonen anime, just for the girls. Like I said, I don't think any of these animes are bad, except the one that I said bad. But some stuff like, not just for me. There are a few animes, 3 actually, that I don't have a real opinion about. Like, okay, this is maybe because become good later, so I just skip it for now and see the reviews after the season end. The first anime is called Black Clover, which is like, it reminds me of Naruto in bad way, which is, I don't hate Naruto, but what I think about this anime, like, someone tried to say, okay, what is the most popular animes right now? Oh, One Piece, the Naruto, that anime about Seven Sin, stuff like that, and combine them all together and said, here, this is anime. This is a new idea. Like, I don't feel any originality in it. It's like, everything I expect to happen happened. There are the Sasuke guy, there are the Naruto guy, the same character trait. There are rivals since their childhood. They are like on each other back. It's like, I don't feel anything interesting about it. Like, the most uninteresting and original anime I ever see, which I don't want to hate just because it's like only 1 episode, so I don't have anything to want to see it right now. And it's only 13 episodes according to any chart, so I don't know, for later. The other anime is called Blend S, which is like this one of those anime that comedy that have only one joke, and they will repeat it for 13 episodes or more maybe, which is about this cute girl who have this weird thing about her personality is that when she talks to someone, like she's like shitting on them, and like she can't find job because the way she look at people is bad. The first episode when she's like, I search for a job but they don't want to hire me because they don't look my look the way I look to people. Like, what kind of reason that for not to hire someone? Like, and then she walk in the street and look at the cat and like she creepy, like, oh, this is the joke, it's weird. And then she hired in this coffee shop that hired girls who act like Cassandra, little sister, like they make characters too, and her character is like she's like this cynical girl who like shit on people, like, and it was funny for the first 10 minutes of the episode, then stop being funny. And how you will make that funny for a 12 episode, I don't know. I saw so many animes that try to have like this one joke and run it for 12 episode, but didn't work. I feel this is the same thing. The characters look cute, which is the only thing coming for it. The other anime, which is like, if you watch the last season anime called Gamers, this is the same thing but different. This anime called Anime Gatari, which is about this girl who will want to make an anime club in her school, which is, yeah. Gamers was interesting not because they focus on the club, but because they focus on the characters and their relationship. This is focused on the club, which is make it less interesting. I didn't find any of the character interesting, even that they like introduce only 2 characters in the first episode. Gamers hooked me up from the first episode. There was so many interesting characters in the first episode that I want to see more of. There are characters in Gamers they didn't focus so much on, and I want them to focus more on. But Gamers done it fun way. The character is fun, the connection is fun. This, from the first episode, I don't feel anything about the 2 characters. There was like this airhead main character who doesn't know anything about anime, just talk about anime a little bit with her friend, and there are this rich girl who very, very annoying a little bit, that she have this guy who just make a click of her hand and he appeared to do everything for her. Like, oh, she's like the 101 rich girl, which is annoying. Even that I like the guy who like helping her because he into anime too. Like when she talked about it, like he cried too about it. Oh, this scene was sad and he was crying. But I don't feel it. Maybe it will become better later. So I bought this anime for maybe later anime. 2 other anime I bought them in the later category, but I'm sure that I will watch them someday. One of them is Nijun no Susomi, which is about this girl who into MMO, and she's neat who just stay at home and do nothing but play MMO games. And she plays as a guy character in the game, and then she finds this girl who is obviously a guy in real life, and start like have a relationship with this girl. Like, it's kind of sweet but weird. I don't know how to feel about it. The other anime, which is like, I'm straightforward say to you, this anime is not that good. Actually, I think it's very weird and make no sense. But I am sucker for anime that have unique art style, that different and weird and have like unique idea. Which is the anime I'm talking about is called Urahara, which is about magical girls with a unique design actually. One of them is like wear military uniform, one is cat, the other is like, I don't know. And they are like fighting these aliens who want to steal landmark from Earth because they don't have culture in their alien world. I'm just like, yeah. Very, very weird anime, which is something good in my book. Like, I'm not watching something just because it's good, but because it's weird. So yeah, it's like, well, I watch something I didn't see before, so it makes me interested to watch it. And finally, we come to the real meat of all this. The anime that I decided to watch them this season, which is 11 anime. Something about me, I am very, very easy to please guy. I'm not that kind of cynical who like, this bad, this bad, this bad. No, I'm kind of like, this good, this good, this good, this is great. I'm very, very easy to please. And to prove that, I picked 11 anime that I really want to watch this season. I tried to make them 5, which is a good idea for me to make them only 5, because if I said 5, I will make them 10. If I said 3, I will make them 6. I just want to watch so many animes. 10 of them are normal length. One of them is like short 5-minute or 3-minute anime. We will start from this anime called Osaki wa Fufu Minate Kara, which is about this woman who marries to a guy who only stay home, I think, and he's like make her drink every time. It's like about alcohol, and like you know the show like only show you great food, like, oh look how good this food is. This is about show you how cool this drink is. I'm not alcoholic in real life. I'm Muslim, so alcoholic is big no-no to us. But I love movies and show like that about it. Like there are movie I like. It's called Cocktail, Tom Cruise, which is about this bartender guy, which is I love. There are like Big Kahuna, which is a big part of it about talking about alcohol and making cocktail, and I love this part. There are another anime called Bartender, which is also I love about that. Something about that bartender things. If I was living in the West, I would be bartender, I think. I love this anime. It's very short, very sweet, and something in betweener for other animes. Like when the trick I do to watch animes, like I watch very dark anime or sad anime or something, and then watch something light, dark light, so I can please them. I cannot marathon something very light because it will like I will stop laughing because I'm used to it. And if I watch only dark, it will be like I will be depressed. So I need something to light. So something dark, something light, something dark, something light. The other anime that I hear people hate this, but I like the first episode called Two Cars. It's about this two girls who like in motorcycle racing, and it is like kind of racing that you need to have two people on the same racing thing, which is obviously lesbian stuff. Yuri, all the way Yuri. It's like there are so many racers and all couples, two girls together each time. It's like, yeah, they are all into it. It is like a little bit fun. I maybe drop it later, I don't know. I will watch the second and third episode before I decide to drop it, but I think it is sweet so far. I know that I have a problem, but it's fun. Garo. Oh, Garo Vanishing Line. This anime is badass. Badass when I say badass, like 90s anime badass of manliness. This anime about this guy who like hunting monster called horrors, and he have this badass motorcycle, and he have this ring that in the shape of a skull, and he use it as the key for the motorcycle, and he can transform into a robot or like a armored hero like Power Ranger and stuff like that, and fight monster, and like awesome. It's very, very awesome, very, very manly, very, very interesting. It's like one of this old action anime that I love when I was starting watching anime a long time ago. Hoseki no Koni, which is anime I was very struggle of watching it now or later, but I said yeah, it is interesting. This anime is a 3D CGI anime, which is the first time I see 3D CG anime. 3D CGI anime, sorry, that look good. The reason it look good because the character's supposed to be like a crystal, made of crystal, humanoid, but made of a crystal, and it makes sense they look 3D because there are not a human object, so it makes sense. So it's like this look of a 3D fit the story, but I still don't think like the 3D is the greatest thing about it. It is have like interesting look to it, interesting story, which is like one of this anime that, like Two Cars, I will give it to another episode. Maybe I will watch it or not, but so far it looked good. The other anime I want to talk about is something that everyone compared to Made in Abyss from the last season because it is chibi and in the world of like dark world, but I don't think it's that much of a fair to compare to the two. The anime called Shoujo Shumatsu Ryuko, which is about these two girls in a tank, or not tank, in like military vehicle, and they are wearing military uniforms, and they are traveling the world, searching for food and other things. It's like interesting world to live in and see, and it is very like interesting, something to see. You want to see what will happen next. It is cute and dark and good. It reminds me a lot of Kino no Tabi. Long time ago, in 2005, 2007, I buy DVD of anime called Kino Tabi, and it is still my favorite anime of all time. I wish like they make a sequel or remake it. Hey, they make a remake of Kino no Tabi. Yes, best anime this season. Over. I love Kino no Tabi. The original anime is still my favorite anime of all time. I was rewatching it before this release of the new anime just to remind myself of the old memory of that anime. And it's good. I love it. People have some hate for the first episode of the new Kino no Tabi, but I see the reason and I know why they did this change. The first anime was have like didn't receive very well because obvious problems that stuff that I like, but it's obviously that will not make it work. First of all, Kino is not cute at all. Sorry for saying that, but the Kino from the anime was like they try to make the anime not cute. They try to make it more like realistic, which fit the anime, I think. They try to give it this look of Western animation stuff because it is set in Western world. It give it a very natural, dark, dim color, which is fit. But like I said, this kind of thing doesn't appeal to anime fans. Even the look of the character and the colors they choose here is very different. First of all, the motorcycle she have is CGI this time because, let's face it, this is save a lot of money for the studio and they need the budget. The studio is called Lurch, which is not one of the biggest studios, so of course they need to save money. Which is, by the way, I'm okay with all the changes since I will get any more of Kino no Tabi. I am okay with all this. Just the fact that they make a sequel, I am okay with it. Make it a sequel made of like bad animation and all that, I was be good of it because I was desperate for years to get anything Kino no Tabi. There are shitty anime get 4 and 5 seasons and Kino never get one. Now it get it, so I'm glad that Kino gets something, so I'm happy. The changes was like the hair color of the original anime was like black, now they make it green, which is like the light novel. They make the voices is changed because actually the voice actress of Hermes and Kino from the original anime was not a voice actress of anime, it was like an actor, a normal actor in Japan, so this was like the only rule she ever made in anime. So actually I like the first episode and I'm glad that they will focus on making more episode that was not in the more stories that was not in the first anime. They make new stories, which is will make me happy. I wish they like more than just a 12 episode. I wish it like longer. I wish it like they make more sequels. I'm okay with it. Actually, I'm very very okay with the first episode. And the second episode is the Colosseum. I didn't see it yet, but I'm very happy that they will like make it only one episode for the Colosseum, because it was my least favorite in the old anime, because it was action oriented and I like my Kino to be more of a story oriented. So yeah. The other anime called Boku no Kojo ga Majim Shojiro Shoujo Bish Nakin, which is okay, one of this anime that have long name. This anime about this guy who like this girl in his school, and she's a very serious girl, and he asked her to be his girlfriend, and she said yes. So okay, everything good. But she's like very weirdo. She's think that all what he wants is like itchy stuff. See her breast or stuff like that. Like she do a lot of stuff that very uncomfortable, very weird, second embarrassment stuff, and she just do it like just because she thinks that's what girlfriends do, which is in very unrealistic way, very realistic thing, because a lot of girls just do weird stuff because they don't want to lose their boyfriends, or because they think that's what they should do. Even that what he wants from her is just be together, just be herself. He like her for what she is, but she can't realize it, and she like have this fear that she may be lost him if she doesn't act like a typical girlfriend, and all her information about typical girlfriend is from TV, anime, manga, which is bad way to do that, or stuff she heard from her friends, which is also a very realistic thing. You have this girl who her friends who do not know what they're talking about and tell her, yeah, you should give you relationship more intense. And something like this happened in the first episode, that one of the girls tell her, oh, you should have sex with him. Like, yeah, let's do it. Like, no, don't do something you're uncomfortable with it. I like that the main characters, both of them, are very nice people, and they're just very sweet together, and I like this kind of stuff. It is my ichi anime of the season, so yeah. Oh, this season has so many high quality anime that try to be like high class, very what can I say? Anime that like Ghibli and show stuff like that. You will we have already Kino and Shogo Shumatsu I talk about. This is the third anime, which is called Kujira no Kora wa Shajo ni Otuwa, which is the Children of the Whales. This anime is like, wow, this can't be a TV anime. This is need to be a Ghibli movie. This is how cool the art style of this anime is. It's like when you saw it, like, this is Ghibli. Look at this background. This is Ghibli. The art style is amazing. The background, just looking at the background, like, wow. I love it from the bottom of my heart. It is maybe the best anime this season, who knows. Another anime is like I bake called Juni Taisen, which is action anime about the 12 assassins that killing each other. I need something action back this season, so this is my pick. Beside Goro and the next anime. The next anime is called Inuyashiki, which is the first episode is so depressed. It's about this old man who his family doesn't like him. He have this horrible two teenage kids, a boy and a girl, who like doesn't appreciate all his sacrifice and hard work for them. Sorry. And it is very good, well made anime, very well made story, very interesting actually. He later get like this superpower. He become a cyborg or a robot because of alien crash, and something weird happened. We don't know what exactly, but now he have superpower and he fight for the old people who abused by children of Japan, because all kids are horrible, and it is very well done anime. But even that, I think they go so far about it. He have two teenage kids. Even that, he look not like their father, but like grandfather. He look much older than what a typically 58 years old, like they said. Like when they had them, did he manage in his 40s? It's like very, very good anime, but so many questions when you see it. It is look very good actually. When he turned to robot, like the first episode of the first episode, like it's very hard to watch. But then when he turned into robot, like, okay, this is interesting. I hardly recommend it. This is maybe one of the best anime this season. The next anime is the final anime we will talk about in this video. Mahotsuki no Yomi, which is about this guy who is a skeleton, and he buy a girl to be his wife, which is very creepy when you talk about it that way, but it's kind of interesting actually. It's a very sweet. When I heard about it, like someone, oh yeah, it's a sweet love story, and this guy is a skeleton. He's a huge skeleton man. He have a skeleton of he have a skull of what, an ox or a deer. He look creepy, but at the same time, you feel the romance. I went the first episode like, oh, these two are so sweet together. I want them to see them get married or something. Like, they're so sweet. But at the same time, it is weird and magical. It's about this girl who have the power to like see the abnormal thing, like ghosts and stuff like that. And because of her superpower, her family doesn't want to have anything to do with her, and no one is, like, want to be her friend, and she want to commit some suicide, but then sold herself to be like with someone maybe want her, and this guy, the skeleton, buy her, and he want to make her like his student to teach her how to do magic, because she have the ability to be a great magician. The thing is that the world they live in is so amazing. They show so many great scenery. Again, like Ghibli, there are like, how many anime like now I said that look very amazingly and more Ghibli-like. This anime, we have Kino, we have the Children of the Whales, we have Shogo Shumatsu, even Hushaki no Koni have like this great graphical design to it. And yeah, so many great anime this season. Whatever you like, whatever you kind of anime you like, don't take my opinion or anyone's opinion as hard opinion. Don't think this. Just see what you think is interesting. Not only good anime worth watching, but anime that you see interesting, that maybe something you didn't see before. Quality is not the only thing you need to watch, is the only thing that anime needs to be watchable, but maybe something interesting. Maybe it is bad, but have a new topic, a new graphical design, maybe something you will like. So, I hope this video helped you to find anime to watch. So, goodbye for now. I'm sorry to make this video very, very long, 40 minutes, but I hope you enjoy it. So, goodbye for now, and see you next season.